So, in a one line, Justbaat is a generative AI video automation platform. We enable our publishers, customers to create better video experiences across all their user touchpoints.
Got it. Can you give a few examples of that so that we can visualize it better?
Absolutely. We primarily work with publishers at this point, and most of the publishers have been publishing text for the longest time of their being into existence. However, the world has moved on. Today, people love watching or listening as compared to reading. This is established fact. There are enough data points across the internet. People are spending like 80 minutes, 90 minutes each day just watching videos on social media, and most of the traffic is also moving towards the social media and other video platforms, right? So if you have to be relevant today, you also have to be amongst the behavior of your users, and hence you have to create more video
Sure.
experiences. Publishing text alone won't help. So what we've done is we created a platform where people can just put in text and the output will be a super engaging video. Uh, and most of the effort has been automated, so you don't have to be a very good video editor to do that. Literally an intern can just copy paste, and with just a couple of buttons they can get a extremely good video output, which is ready to be uploaded onto their website, application, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, etc.
Got it. You're also powering the
Yeah,
social media, but also like let's say if I'm a newspaper company, I have a lot of content on my website, mostly text. Now you are coming and helping them convert that into video, which is more engaging, but also the same video can go onto YouTube and other platforms, right?
absolutely.
So amongst your
Absolutely.
users, are you working with these? So mostly you're working with big clients, but you have 300 odd publishers. So can you talk a bit about the mix of these publishers? How many you have in the big range, in the small range, or how do you split them? What's the mix of your customers?
See, like most of the other companies, we also have the 80-20 split, where 20%, actually lesser in our case, about 30 to 40 would be enterprise level publishers, and rest are the smaller publishers, regional publishers, local publishers, category specific publishers. There is someone who's just writing on people moving from one corporate to another. So that's like there
Okay.
is a publisher which writes on the movement of government officers from one department to another for a specific state. So these are the
Okay.
kind of publishers that we work with. But we have about
Well,
40 odd enterprise publishers with us today.
I think I can guess that state, but anyway. Uh, uh, but kind of, if this is so, then is your customer acquisition also different? Like because enterprises you would be approaching very differently, and probably these long tail folks. Do you have a PLG model? How do you kind of acquire different kind of customers?
Absolutely. So we have a combination of the sales team and PLG both. Most of the smaller publisher partners have been acquired through the PLG approach, and of course with the enterprises or the mid-level publishers, we have a proper sales force, a sales team force in place, where
Yeah.
we prospect, we go to sales meetings, we close, and then we do proper account management. So that's the entire operational ecosystem that we created around our sales efforts.
Got it. And international, how do you crack international clients?
Well, we've just started off with international. We just have two international clients at this stage, but we are betting heavily on the MENA region, and Dubai being the center of the MENA region. So I have done one trip to Dubai in the past, and I'm planning to be there again this month. In the next 10 days, I'm flying away, and we are trying to talk to. We've already started prospecting. Prospecting. I've lined up about 20-25 meetings with the enterprise level publishers out there, because this is a learning that we've seen, that if enterprises or the bigger publishers adopt something, the smaller ones want it. Right. This is how we had started off in India also, and this is how we are trying to enter the newer geography that we are targeting. So we are live with Gulf and Khalij at this point with in Dubai, but then MENA as a region has Riyadh, has Yemen, has Israel, has North of Africa also. So we are trying to, and mostly people are based out of Dubai. So we are trying to, you know,
Got it.
create a bigger, better presence in Dubai, where probably I do a couple of trips. We are also trying to partner with a few local freelancers who can help us to, get some prospecting and sales meetings done.
Got
But
it.
initial effort will be for sales operations, and then probably some PLG paid marketing will kick in post that. But we will lead with sales operations for the for the newer
Got it.
geographies also.
Understood. Got it. Yeah, I was about to kind of. So if my natural thought was that probably PLG will, for different new geographies, for international geographies, probably go with PLG. And then, kind of wherever you're seeing demand, then you're going and, trying to do enterprise play. So I understand what you're saying, that, you're leading with sales, and then it improves the conversion of PLG, but PLG you don't control, right? So are you seeing any signs of PLG coming from outside India?
No, not at all, because honestly, we've not invested uh, a single, we've not done any efforts to get people to know us beyond India, in all honesty, right?
Got it.
We are revamping our website as we speak. Our SEO has been very extremely India centric. We've not done paid
Okay,
marketing
okay.
at all outside the country. We
That
don't
I
have
understand.
any social media effort going on beyond India. So far we've just been focused on India, and given the stage, the way we started, India was more of a learning territory for us. We were trying to do the PMF, we were trying to establish the business model. Now most of it, I wouldn't call it done, but at least we have some baseline which has been created. And now is the time when we start looking beyond India. So we are revamping our website. We'll start some bit of paid campaigns also. We are doing these sales, efforts, etc. in that region. So now is how we are starting out.
Got it. And what is exactly PLG that you're doing? What are those products which are these self-serve tools, and what do they achieve for the publishers, and what is the journey of that long tail in India? How do they get to know about you? What is their first experience with your product, and what is the usual experience with your product? What do they actually use you for?
Absolutely. So honestly, in India, PLG was a bit easier for us because when we had launched, when we went live in the market, uh, there was some bit of noise around what we did. We were the
Yeah,
ones behind a lot of AI anchors that a lot of bigger media houses adopted. And thanks to our media partners, our publisher partners, they created a lot of noise on television and social media. So thanks to us, thanks to them, we got some growth. We started getting a lot of incomings, and then the word spread out. We were also trying to make sure that we do not, we multiply our sales efforts, and we also do some bit of right things to maintain the PLG. But honestly, in India, we were lucky. Uh, the products that we lead with, at least from a product point of view, we have been investing to build a self-serve tool for the longest time. That is how we started the company. So self-serve tool is still our leader product, or the hero product as we call it. Now we are trying to come up with better, newer formats around the automation of video, or automated video creation. So we've just launched video automation, which, just by getting access to the RSS feeds of the publisher, will be able to create automated bulletins. So
got
almost
it.
every publisher in the country has RSS feeds. Globally has
Yeah,
RSS feeds. It's a very old concept. Uh, they regularly publish it. This is publicly available, right? So we've created a script which is literally a plug and play for them, right? If they put that script, then our machine will be able to read the RSS feed. If it is not public, RSS is public, but the image elements and the stock footage elements are not. So by putting that script, we get access to the image and the stock footages as well. Then the text typically is written for to be read. We make that text. We use it as a script, but we make it video ready. We plug in the footage, we plug in the image, and create a proper bulletin. So we've just launched, hourly, a 3 hourly bulletin that any of the publisher partners can just plug and play using our platform.
okay,
And then we're investing in more formats. So the current bulletin is primarily news focused, but then we're also coming up with a lot of lifestyle stuff. So for example, once in a day, let's say there is a tech publication. So launches of the day. So an automated
okay,
bulletin will be created of what launched, whether a headphone launched, or whether a game launched, or whether a cell phone launched, etc. will be reported. So the second pillar for us is automation, and then the third pillar for us is interactive formats, where we've just launched a AI quiz platform, which is basically a automated Q&A platform, where just by entering the topic, the machine will research, find out relevant questions, and create a tree, right, with a yes and no, or
okay,
MCQs, multiple choice questions, and then based upon where you choose to plug it in, it will literally analyze the context and create a entire MCQ journey in an automated way. For an example, let's say there is talks about Ram Mandir Ayodhya, and if you plug into that platform, you enter the context Ram Mandir Ayodhya, it will be able to crawl the web, and it will just create a complete decision tree equivalent questionnaire. And as a user, you will be intrigued to answer it. For example, while you're reading the article of Ram Mandir Ayodhya, a quiz widget will pop up with a AI avatar, asking you, hey, how do you think about the Ram Mandir? Was the mandir which was created, was it good or bad? So if you say good, then the counter question will be, but it's been placed where there was a masjid which was existing. So and then you'll probably try to answer that, and then there will be a follow up question, and then a follow up question, etc. So the idea is that it will be able to improve the engagement for the publisher. Also, we are creating options where just by instead of using the automated AI avatar, you can clone your existing anchors, right? Who can probably ask questions on your behalf. So Anjana Om Kashyap, Sayyid
Got
Ansari, such people can ask questions. And then the distant dream is that we will also open this up to a lot of YouTube creators or influencers, where most of the people who are creating videos around stuff, for example, Dhruv Rathi, if he's creating a video around Bhopal gas strategy, he can literally create his own microblog and publish the entire MCQ. That after watching the video, you can go to a link where the MCQ will light up, and Dhruv Rathi's avatar will be asking you questions. So that is the thought with this. So these are three leader products that we have, right, in the market today. Self-serve tool, of course, is the hero, and then the quiz and video automation is catching up.
got it. Got it. Now, moving to something that I'm most interested about. In a short period, you have been able to turn profitable. And a lot of it is driven by change in business model, change in approach, or how you look at your publishers, how you partner with them. So, can you just talk about this journey from the last year when we met? You were almost like desperate to raise capital, or or let's say last time when we met, you were like really keen to raise capital because you had a wage bill and you had to kind of take
But
care of
desperate is the
that.
right word.
To now, yeah. So I thought I'll edit it out, and that's why I said it again. But let's say from last year when you were like really keen to raise capital quickly, to now you're saying we'll think about it whether we need capital, whether we should raise, and for what purpose, because you have somewhere broken even. So just take us through that journey. What were the key decisions you took? What were the other choices you had? And were you sure it'll play out well? Just paint the story for us.
Absolutely. So, when we started operating, and luckily, unluckily, we got the breakthrough in the publisher ecosystem. We, of course, had some affinity in the media space, but we honestly never estimated the kind of breakthrough that we'll get it. Right? And then our focus just went towards that breakthrough, and then we started cracking media houses and then publisher ecosystem. What we realized was the product that they have is content, right? And every business's product is supposed to make them money, and their content makes them money through two major sources. One is, of course, the content syndication deals that they do, and the rest is the ad monetization. Apparently, content syndication for any of the publishing partners is not more than 5 to 10% of their revenue. 90% of the revenue would come in from advertising alone, right? Basically, they create content to monetize the content through ads, in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
So, and when we had started off, I mean, personally, I've built an ad business in the past, so I understood what the ecosystem was. But as a company, we were not ready to, serve ads, because ad operations is an extremely deep tech uh, ecosystem in itself. And then we were already dabbling with artificial intelligence. We were, trying to be ahead of the curve. We were leading with AI when people were, still talking about
Intelligence.
AI. So getting into too deep buckets was not the right approach. Uh, Hence, we started off with SaaS. But we always knew that content is created for getting monetization, and the monetization is coming through ads. So if we can get the monetization going also for the publisher, then we become the growth partner. Elsewise, we are just one more service provider or a product partner
Absolutely.
for the publishers. So we always had this cautiously, but because of the right reasons, we chose to be a SaaS player. But when we started operating in the market, the publishing ecosystem does not like to pay money. Nobody likes to pay money, right? So any which ways, through SaaS, our growth was getting restricted, and we were able to get to a point where we were getting comfortable with the AI tech. Initially, when we had started off, we were honestly, AI in itself is a very, very new tech, right? So nobody can stand up and claim that I understand this ecosystem well. So we were also learning. But there was a point in time where we said that, hey, we started getting comfortable with this tech. We can take one more panga. And that is where the entire ad operations things came in. We went ahead and we presented to Google saying, hey, we are enabling publishers to create more video inventory. And if you partner with us to help them monetize this video inventory better, then It will be a
Very
win-win for
nice.
the publisher. It will be a win-win for us, and it will be a win-win for you because today video inventory
Very
is
nice.
non-existent across the internet. Google understood the pitch. They we were lucky enough that we were able to get to the right folks. They decided to partner with us. We became a Google AdX partner, and hence we were able to change the entire business model. In fact, our entire business model became extremely foolproof with this partnership. Now, the pitch in the market is that there is no upfront cost, right? You try our platform, create videos. When you create videos, we will help you monetize it across YouTube, across your own platform. By the way, we also became a YouTube MCN partner recently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
So
that.
both MCN and MCM. So whether if it is your website, we will help you through MCM AdX. If it is YouTube, we'll help you with YouTube AdX, and you get so we were able to multiply the supply because the supply has multiplied. The monetization has multiplied because the monetization has multiplied. The publishers are happy, and we are able to take a certain cut out of that multiplication that we've done for them in the revenue, and hence we've been able to do some, we are able to make some money, better money for ourselves as well as compared to the SaaS money. In fact, the bigger growth, the bigger shift that has happened is not profitability. Fundamentally, we've moved from being a cost center to being a growth center for the publisher. So that is a bigger
Absolutely.
win that that has happened for us.
Yeah, and which has aided your ability to kind of move away because now you are actually not a cost for them. But see, for new customers, I understand when you're going to a new customer and saying, "Give me this much to create videos," versus "Don't give me anything. I will increase your earnings and I'll take a small cut on that." The second conversation is a winner conversation. It should improve your conversions. But the publishers you are already working with, who are paying you pittance as SaaS revenue, as your SaaS revenue, when you try to flip, how what were those conversations? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Because in some sense, yes, they have gone. Their revenues probably would have gone up, but they're also saying that you are making a lot more than what you were earlier making. So sometimes we don't like others making money. That also mindset is there. So any
No, absolutely. We also thought that initially it would be difficult to shift the business model, but thankfully the entire publishing ecosystem understands the revenue sharing model better as compared to the SaaS model. People love partnering on revenue sharing. That is one.
got
Second, most of the publisher partners or the entire publishing ecosystem is a content creation ecosystem. They do not have enough tech bandwidth or
yeah,
might, and so goes for revenue. I mean, they have sales teams, but those sales teams are still doing a lot of on ground sales. Programmatic advertising is something that they've not been able to understand that much yet. There are literally handful of companies in this country which will understand how the programmatic advertising would work. Mostly the larger publisher. Rest, most of them do not even have ad operations resources or ad tech resources at their end. So people were absolutely okay when we said that, hey, we want to become a growth partner, and not only content creation, we'll also help you in distribution and monetization. It was a win-win for them, and it just became a win-win for us as well. But you're right. At some point in time, people might realize that they are overpaying, as compared to what they would have paid if they were paying us a fixed fee. Uh, Honestly, we would not want to move back to the SaaS model because we are also able to get to the end customer or understand the end user behavior with the model that we are
true.
sitting on we be the growth partner. The way I see it, that the percentages or the margins might go down for us. So today, let's say if we are making 30% or the 40% or 20% of the margin, that might come down to 15%, 10%, 5%, whatever it is. But we would stick to this model. Also, while the percentages for us might come down, but the supply overall would have, increased and,
Gone up.
would have grown. So the volume in a nutshell would grow, but possibly it will stagnate at some point. But it will be a good problem to have. It will happen when it happens, and that's the product life cycle most of the companies go through.
Yeah.
So far, at least in the short run, we don't see it happening over the next 2 3 years. So
But now, see, now the proposition is very clear that I'll come and increase your revenue and take a share of that. So, how does that change your ability to acquire new customers, your ability to grow your revenue? Uh, has that also kind of you've seen a change in the way your client acquisition has changed since you moved to RevShare?
drastically, with SaaS model, literally, in the month of October, we were sitting with 18 publisher partners, 1 8. That's it, right? And we were prospecting with 10 more, so probably a 30 odd publisher partners was our total pipeline, right? Today we are sitting at 300. right? So it's literally 10x of where we were, 10x in the terms of count, 10x in the terms of revenue also. So, being a growth partner has literally helped us to just, build a business for ourselves too.
But help me understand. So if your customers have grown 10x, maybe it's a long tail which has come in, but let me complete the question. The revenue per client should itself have gone many times the moment you move from SaaS to RevShare. And then you also have 10x clients. So shouldn't you have been at a much, much higher revenue already?
Yes, in theory, that's correct. But see, couple of reasons, right? One, India is an extremely low CPM market. In India is a excess supply market. Typically, the fill rates in this country are not more than 40-50%. So any which way we are sitting on 50% ratio supply. That is one of the challenges that we have. Second, the CPM rates are like really low, tipping point low, right? For example, if you're doing display inventory, your CPM will be 10 cents. If you're doing video inventory, your CPM would be 30 to 40 cents, right? Versus in developed markets, or developed is sorry, wrong word. Versus in the Western markets, right? The CPMs are anywhere in the US. If we talk about it, it's $10 to $12 for video, and $5 to $8 for display. So it just and the fill rates are 70 to 80% versus in India 30-40%, right? So those are the factors which also come into play when uh, the revenue growth has not been in tandem to the volume growth or the count growth that we've had. But then we are also working very closely with our partners, educating them, right? That how can they optimize their platform? How do they acquire better traffic? How do they get the viewability of the content right? Right? How can they use social media to get traffic onto their platforms? So all of these, conversations, or all of these hand holding has also started at our end, where the longer tail publishers that we've acquired, we are trying to maximize revenue for them as well.
Got it. So, but maybe asking it differently, for your top clients, as you move from SaaS to RevShare, how has your revenue changed for those clients? Additional revenue from additional clients is a separate thing. How has this changed?
So for our top clients, also the revenue has at least multiplied by 1.5 to 2x, right? Uh, I can name a few. For example, Times of India, we were working on a SaaS model, and we were literally making a very, very small money. But now we are at least, making literally double of, triple of what we used to do earlier. So it has multiplied, but then there is a long way to go. See, all of this has literally happened in the past 5-6 months, right? So and
Yeah.
we've been growing 20% month on month since we've done this, rev share shift. So far, it's just the business model shift that has helped us to grow here. We've not been able to optimize yet. We've not been able to, do any sort of add, or account management or client servicing, client success activities as of yet. It is literally just the sales deployment and growth that we are looking at, right? Once we are able to, and we are building that might as we speak. So once we are able to start handholding the publisher, we are able to talk about the benefits of, hey, see, you've created 10 more videos. This is the impact. This is the reach that you've gotten. This is the revenue you've got. All these things will also start falling in place.
Then your same client revenue will go up.
Correct,
So
correct. Honestly, we are not looking at per client revenue maximization as a metric internally yet, because thankfully we also have been growing, and we were not able to optimize that as of yet. But we've hired a bunch of folks now, and they are owning this metric internally today. So that is the area.
yeah. So but just to kind of see the way another way of thinking about it is that these are the clients I already have. I am moving from SaaS to RevShare. I need to be their success partners. I need to help them grow their revenue. Once that happens, my revenue will go up any which way. Once that happens, my pull for new customers will also go up. So why would you kind of deprioritize that and focus on acquiring new customers?
Uh, Honestly, the acquisition of new customers has been product-led, as you said, right? We literally were not looking for them. Our sales operations were restricted to only a few customers only, but we literally got an inflow of a lot of these customers. So we there is we've not deprioritized. I think that's the wrong word. We've not been able to focus on this
Got it.
metric so far, but we've just
Got
started
it.
realizing that this is something that we've been missing upon. We literally realized. So see, October we changed the business model. December growth started unleashing. Right? January, we realized this. We started looking for people. We've hired two folks who will just own this metric. We are literally sitting, they've just come on board in the month of April, and it's just been 15, 20 days since, they started warming up. So this quarter, we are focusing on, getting the maximum value possible in the given stage from a customer. But and we will keep on building it from here. But of course, initially we probably got a bit distracted, but we're back.
Got it. So, but so your revenue from your clients has multiplied as you move from SaaS to RevShare. So far, has their revenue also from those pages gone up, or that has stagnated, or not?
No, absolutely. It has definitely gone up. See, this is honestly, at least in the advertising world, it's a no-brainer that between a display and video CPMs are 4x as compared to display. And there was a time when the fill rates were not that high, right? Even with the 4x CPM, the fill rates were literally 1/4, so it used to equate out. But today, if I don't know whether you remember, Amit, but 2 years back, Viacom, when they won rights of IPL, the TV rights and the digital rights were equal. 45 CR was the amount
Yeah,
for
yeah,
per
I know
day
that full
TV
case study.
broadcast, and 45 CR was the amount for digital broadcast as well, right? So the video spend or the video ad spend has just multiplied in the past 4 years. In fact, it has grown at 180% year on year. Like it's that crazy. So that's not the case anymore. Video and display, of course, video is still marginally less as compared to display, but it is exponentially high when it comes to CPM. So just by plugging onto video inventory on your page, you will be able to multiply the revenue. This is something which is common knowledge now. People are literally looking to create more video. We don't
No,
have to
no.
push it. They understand this already.
So that warming up, that expectation is there. What I'm saying is, when they were using a SaaS product, they were still creating videos. They were still getting video ad ad revenue. Now that you have moved to RevShare, have they kind of also started creating more videos, or have, because they don't have to pay for it and worry about whether it will get monetized or not, or is it that you have built more tools which kind of help them to increase their revenue? Because at the end of the day, your success depends upon how much revenue they are able to make through you, which are it's the marginal revenue. And if you can help them, anyone you can help with marginal revenue, it is straight to bottom line. A large part of it goes to bottom line. So it's the most lucrative revenue anyone can think of. They don't have to launch a new newspaper in a and worry about distribution, none of that, right? So that's the beauty of it, and that's why you are sitting at such an advantageous position, because you are impacting or increasing their marginal revenue, and you're not even charging for it. So that way, but is their marginal revenue going up, and to what extent, and how do you plan to keep increasing it? Are there some things in the roadmap, like you can talk about that video player, which seemed like a very interesting play? Probably it is increasing their marginal revenue, to my mind.
Correct. So both have happened, right? So because we were able to, and see, thankfully, with the revenue sharing model, we also realized that we need to own the experience end to end of monetization, or not the experience, the journey of monetization end to end, right? Which is why we introduced the video player. Now, the video player is our widget placed on the publisher platform, which gives us actual feedback of how the user is interacting with the video. So we now exactly know the play rate, we know the drop off rate, we know the engagement peaks, and we know the bounce rate, etc. So we know all the analytics for the metrics that is required to get our content fine tuned. We know when to introduce the ad,
Mhm.
we know when to cache the ad, right? So we are able to control a lot of that. Unfortunately, when we were in the SaaS model, while publishers were using us to create videos, they were not really looking at these metrics, right? Because video was not core to them. Video is core to us, right? Now with
Mhm.
the shift in model and introduction of the video player, we've been able to monitor a lot of these. It has helped us improve our product. It has helped us improve our understanding of the user, and also hence we've been able to translate back in the product upliftment and revenue upliftment for the publisher partners. And hence and we've also worked on automation. We've also worked on better loading of the content, etc. So there are smaller interventions too that we've done, and every publisher partner has seen their revenue go up at least by 20 to 30%. Since we've shifted this revenue
Got it.
sharing model from SaaS.
And what is the scope here? Like the revenues have gone up by 2 3x, 20 30%, sorry. So the revenues have gone up by 20 30% with whatever you have built for them now, and whatever focus they have for now, and whatever focus you have demonstrated. Now, how does this increase? Is this video player going to change things, or are there any other products you have in the roadmap? Is there a cap to it? And then you need to have more and more pages, and more and more pages will lead to more and more videos, and more videos will lead to more and more ad revenue. or within this you can work on engagement and something else can happen, because now you're almost like thinking of yourself as the owner of that page, as a product owner of that page. So yeah.
No, absolutely. So actually, let's take a couple of steps back. So it's just not about creating videos, right? The entire internet is moving towards more interactive experiences, right? We've all seen chatbots, we've all seen other interactive experiences that people have built. People are getting used to it, and if there are internet platforms or websites or applications which are not coming along, then people will abandon them. So, in order to stay relevant, people or the publishers will have to adopt to newer formats. We are the ones which are bringing it or enabling them to create these newer formats. So, today, while
True.
we have a video and a video player experience, convert the text into video, we've also come up with a MCQ product, which could be a follow on to the article or the video that you created, which is interactive, right? So we are investing into such formats more and more, so that going forward, it is just not about the supply, it is also maximizing the supply. So it is not about the amount of video pages that you create, it is also about the video or the interactive experiences that you create per page. So that is what our offering is going to be in the future.
And talk more about that video player. Why do you need a video player? What does it enable you to do that? And how does that contribute to the success of your client?
Absolutely. See, before the video player or before the revenue sharing model, also, right, we were literally a video creation platform where you come in, you input text, you create video, and then what happens to that video, we had no clue. We had no
Yeah.
visibility. Of course, we were able to get some analytics from the publisher partners by asking for it, but then, it was not what honestly is required to run such a
Of
deep text
course.
product. We had no visibility of the end user, in all honesty. When we had decided to create a video player, there were two reasons. One, of course, to get exact user behavior of the end user. Second, the ads would run on the video player. So because now we are saying that we'll monetize for you, we wanted to get the video player in so that we are able to serve the ads better. We are able to catch them better. We are able to, call them at the right point in time when there is viewability, when the person is in the viewport, so the viewability of the ad increases and the CPM hence increases. So all these smaller interventions, relevant interventions, we are able to do because of the video player. So video player for us has been extremely strategic, and that video player has helped us improve you know uh, the entire thought around the product that we had put it initially. In fact, for now, for example, earlier we don't know whether when the video was saved, we had no clue whether the person is in the viewport, right?
Hmm.
Now we know that the person is in the viewport, right? We know that the person has watched the video for 15 seconds. We know that he now is the peakest, or he's on the peak of his engagement time, right? Uh, Now is the time to call for the ad, right? So we call the ad, we cache it, we show it at the 15th second, and we get 80% viewability. 80% viewability would mean, Google will start understanding, or, caching, realizing that this particular viewport has 80%
Content.
visibility, which happens to our video player, and the bid value will go up, right? So all these experiences are something that we are able to control thanks to the video player that we built.
Little bit more on the recommendation videos that show up, because that is also increasing the engagement. So is there anything else that your video player see? So what I understood was that the analytics that you are now getting is so much superior, which allows you to kind of get the max ROI from those ads. But does it lead to better engagement also through further videos that are showing, and how you pulling those videos? Anything on that?
Absolutely. So, backing up the video player, we built a recommendation engine where, let's say if the person is watching content of a specific genre, we are able to recommend the content of a similar genre, which probably would be a video of interest or content of interest as a recommendation, and which leads to better CTRs. In fact, mostly the publisher ecosystem has got 1 or 2% CTR. Our video player has got 4 to 5% CTR, which is a very good, metric of how the our recommendation engine is working. And our recommendation engine is still in its avatar 1.0. We are constantly improving it. Right? So one is the recommendation. Second is the entire interactivity that comes into play. As I was saying, that the internet is moving toward interactive experiences, and by having that video player, recommendation, interactivity, taking input from the user are things that we can control.
Got it. So do we foresee that these publisher pages, which used to be like very hard to kind of browse through with all these nagging ads all over, with your video product, with your you becoming the custodian of the publisher pages, the consumer experience will also, the end user experience will also improve. which is actually at par when you, which is what the expectation is when you are on YouTube. Elsewhere, it is there are ads, but it is not that nagging experience. So do you see that also change, and that driving more people to kind of spend a little bit more time on these publishers?
Well, yes, that's the ideal journey that we want to build. But honestly, it's the uphill battle from here. It's going to take time because people have been used to, maximizing the ROI on the cost of user experience. So
Yeah,
that unfortunately is the bitter truth. So, that behavioral change has to come in. We are confident, I'll tell you why, that we'll be able to drive it through because see, earlier it was text and, every pixel or every one into one column inches that you have to put in ads to monetize them. The display CPMs were falling. So earlier you used to show one ad and let's say you make 10 rupees. Now because the CPM has gotten to 5, you will now start showing two ads to make sure you maintain 10. Now the CPM has fallen to rupees 2, you will start showing five ads to make sure that your CPM is maintained at 10. Thankfully with videos, any which way the revenue is 4x as compared to display. Right? So you don't have to
got
bombard the user to that extent. However, people are still trying to maximize the ROI.
got it.
I think
More
that
habits
fine
die out.
balance between the user behavior and the ROI has to be established at the industry level. But it is definitely a positive step in that direction, because the ROI has gone 4x. So people are not going that much crazy about, you know,
Yeah,
filling the entire experience with that.
got it. So your job is to constantly keep creating better and more innovative products which improve user engagement and better targeting. Uh, and that will lead to higher revenues for your customers, and eventually you'll take a share of that. But somewhere early in the conversation, you mentioned uh, that you're also helping your clients to publish their content, their video content on social media also, uh, which which kind of is good, but also in a way you are that these publishers are actually making their competition more and more powerful. Every time they push their content there, the social media platforms get uh, more visited. Like, why should I come to this website which is having these poor user experience when I can have similar content and much more choice of content from YouTube or wherever? Yeah? So, is it that this industry itself is going through a tough time with this whole emergence of social media and eyeballs going there because you're fighting algorithms, which are like very, very nuanced, and you are kind of serving an industry which is not a sunrise industry, and somewhere that will impact your future also. Any thoughts on that?
Yes. So actually, publishers have started realizing that the social media giants are eating away their pie uh, for almost 2, 3, 4 years now. However, the user behavior continues to shift towards the social media. So people are trying to figure out what is the best mix. Is it going to be a combination of social media, or I keep my content to myself, or I publish everything on the social media and let my platform just die away? We've seen there are new age platforms like Nuge, Root, which are only social media. They do not have their own presence. There are
Yeah,
companies like Times of India, which is trying to balance it out, or probably still sticking to their own platform, not trying to balance it out. And then there are companies like, there are new age companies which are trying to balance both social media and their own platform, right? When it comes to the user experience. See, social media traffic is growing. There is no question. It is growing as compared to the publishing ecosystem. Earlier there was a time, 4, 5 years, 10 years back, where we used to say that social media and publishers have 50-50 traffic split of the internet. 5 years back, it was 60-40, right? Today, it is 70-30, right? So every time the percentages are moving, there is a estimation that it will probably stop at 80-20 or, 75-25, but there will be a point where it will come to a stagnating point, and social media will own the bigger pie of the ecosystem when it comes to the traffic volumes. But the good part is that the overall internet ecosystem is growing. you know 5 years back we used to have 600 million people using the internet. Today we got a billion people using the internet in our country alone. So earlier it was 60-40, today it is 70-30, but it is 30% of a billion. So the overall volume has multiplied. That is one. Second, people have also started falling to terms saying that, hey, social media platforms can be a discovery mechanism for us, right? uh, Instead of competing the social media, use it as an organic growth channel, right? A lot of publishers have been able to use it to their benefit. Uh, I'm forgetting the name, but there are smaller companies which are using platforms like ShareChat, Daily Hunt. Facebook to their benefit and getting a lot of traffic by teasing the content there and giving the complete journey out here. So that fine balance will get established. Internet will exist with social media and the publishing ecosystem both. It is almost impossible that the publishing ecosystem will get wiped off. You'd need to have both the experiences on internet. Social media might end up owning the bigger pie, but a lot of best practices around how to get traffic, how to engage users on both the ecosystems will get established. So the industry is getting warmed up to it already.
Got it. So, in absolute terms, is the industry growing? Is the revenue that this industry is generating growing year on year, and to what extent?
Absolutely. So the digital revenue for the entire publishing ecosystem is growing at 8% year on year today, 8 to 10% year on year, right? Easily. And this is just the publishing ecosystem. Social media, on the other hand, is growing by 10 to 12%, right?
Their
Year on
social
year.
media revenue.
Their social media revenue. Right? Good part about us is that we are partners both at YouTube and the MCM addicts. So we are also able to take the pie of the YouTube revenue share growth that we are able to get for them, and they are able to get beyond. So that's the good part about us. Instagram and Facebook will also announce such programs soon. There have been chat around how can Meta help publishers to get some better monetization through their platforms. Google has been extremely publisher flow from the get go, but Meta has not. So, but these social media giants have also started realizing that they need to have content creator programs. Publishers are also content creators at the end of the day. So Instagram has piloted a couple of things in the past last year. So such programs will come up. So I think going forward it is going to be a combination of both, and we do visualize us enabling them for their own platform experiences and social media experiences.
Got it. Got it. This is helpful. So, see, this is something we're seeing in many industries, like even in food delivery. If you see, the platforms, the aggregators have completely cornered the demand, and now these standalone restaurants are fighting for traffic. So they are not getting direct orders. Earlier, they used to get some direct orders. We are seeing brands, now trying to kind of build their own websites and own supply chain, because somewhere the these platforms like Amazon's and Blinkits have become really big, and as they've become big, they've also started charging a lot more. The take rates have gone up and all, which has hurt the margins of these brands. So to kind of to solve for that, they are now building their own channels. And here is an industry that you are in. That channel was the original channel, and then came the aggregators. So brands never had websites of their own. They're now thinking let's have websites and let's do commerce through that. But here, these are like they have active user base, they have traffic, they have a bunch of things. I think if someone can really help them with the technology and the product, the way if someone can really help them with the latest in tech and build products around it, a lot can happen. Like, kind of, they're not trying to build a new user base. They have that user base. They just have to retain them and
Absolutely,
serve them
absolutely,
better. Yeah.
absolutely. Very well put. Yeah.